Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to a midweek previewing this week's Champions League and Championship action. Let's get straight into it with the last round of Champions League group games. And yeah, Liverpool v Napoli. And yeah, Liverpool already comfortably qualified. They're going to need a miracle really to get into first place. It's kind of a bit of a dead rubber, but Liverpool, they always seem to put out a win when there's pressure going on Klopp, like there was after that last one. So yeah, I think Napoli will maybe rest a few players, Liverpool as well, but I just feel like Liverpool are enough to edge it 2-0. Moving on then to Marseille as they take on Tottenham at the Stade Velodrome in Marseille. And yeah, obviously this is a massive game for Tottenham. All teams can still qualify, all teams can still get knocked out, so yeah, it's an absolutely massive game. Tottenham, realistically, they'll be fine with a point. So yeah, I think that's what it's going to have to be really. I think Marseille will press because they need a win here, but Tottenham, I think they'll stand pretty resolutely, got star power up front. I'm going to say 1-1 Tottenham qualify. Moving on then to Wednesday's game, and Chelsea are in action at Stamford Bridge and they're taking on Zagreb. And yeah, it's a game for Chelsea, which really they probably need to recover from last week. Zagreb got an outside chance of qualifying for the Europa League, but that seems quite unlikely. But yeah, you never know. Chelsea will have too much for them. They're going to stay top really, unless a miracle happens with goal difference. So yeah, they'll be feeling quite comfortable with this. And I'm going to say it'll be a 2-0 Chelsea win. Moving on then to Man City as they take on Sevilla at the Etihad. And Man City, they comfortably qualified, haven't they? They're not going to be knocked off top space, or very unlikely anyway. Sevilla, they've all but guaranteed Europa League. They've got a very outside chance of qualifying Dortmund, but with goal difference, once again, it's unlikely to happen. So yeah, I think it's kind of a bit of a dead rubber. City, Sevilla aren't there this season, so yeah, I think City will have a comfortable 3-1 win. But anyway, moving on into Championship, kind of more competitive than most Champions League fixtures this week. But anyway, Coventry versus Blackburn, and yeah, this is an interesting one. Coventry look like they were improving, but two pretty disappointing results, you'd have to say, for them recently. It's kind of pegged them back a bit, but yeah, coming against a whole side, a Blackburn side who have won 4 on the trot and now are absolutely flying, sitting second. So yeah, I think they'll come in this one full of confidence. Obviously some off-field issues for Coventry as well, which could play on their minds. So yeah, I'm going to say a 2-0 win for Rovers in this one. Moving on into Hull as they take on Middlesbrough at the KCOM, and yeah, Hull have lost 3 of the last 5, but did have those 2 wins before the loss to Blackburn. So yeah, they're sitting in 18th, slowly but surely improving against the Middlesbrough side, who are in 17th, still just inconsistent as ever. And yeah, losing last time out, really disappointing results. So yeah, just waiting for it to click for them really, but it seems to be taking longer and longer and longer. Personally, for the two sides, it's still struggling quite a bit. I'm going to say a draw, 1-1. Moving on then to Luton as they take on Reading. At Kenilworth Road. And yeah, Luton, 1 point from the last 2, slightly disappointing. Reading, they've lost 4 of the last 5, not on a great run under Paul Ince, you'd have to say, after a really good start to the season, but still sitting in mid-table, they'll be happy to be there. I think Luton in 9th as well, doing pretty solidly as well. So yeah, it's a game that could go either way, but I feel like Luton at home may just have slightly too much for Reading here. I'm going to say 2-0 to the Hatters. Moving on then to Preston as they take on Swansea at Deepdale. And Preston, yeah, it's just inconsistency for them at the moment, isn't it really? 2 wins from the last 3 or 2 wins from the last 5, whatever way you want to frame it. And then you've got Swansea, who are going well at the moment, maybe slightly disappointed not to win against Bristol City last time out, but still going along really, really nicely under Russell Martin. So yeah, it does make this one a hard game to call, to be honest. And I'm going to go down the middle and call it 1-1. And yeah, I just don't think there's much to separate the two sides. Moving on then to Bristol City as they take on Sheffield United at Ashton Gate. And yeah, Bristol City, it's just inconsistency for them as well at the moment, isn't it really? So yeah, just need to find a bit of consistency. 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw in the last 5. And then you've got Sheffield United, who obviously picked up that crucial win last time against West Brom, and hopefully now got a few injuries out of the way, they can start being more consistent again like we saw already in the season. I think they will have a bit too much here for Bristol. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to the Hawthorns, where West Brom take on Blackpool. And yeah, West Brom, obviously got that new manager bounce when they sacked Bruce, but after that they've lost 3 on the trot, so yeah, not great at all really, is it? Currently sitting bottom of the table. Who'd have thought that, 17 games in? It's just not been good enough, and this is a game which I think they'll consider a must win against the Blackpool side, though, who have been improving recently. So yeah, it's by no means a guarantee opportunity, but I think this is a game that they have to be targeting for 3 points. And do I think they get it? I think they will. I think it'll be scrappy, but I do think they will just about get it 1-0. Moving on then to Birmingham as they take on Millwall at St Andrews. And yeah, Birmingham coming into this one, obviously had that slight blip over 2 games, but they were against tough fixtures, and then got 2-0 win against QPR, so still going really well under John Eustace. But Millwall actually flew before they losing to bottom of the table Huddersfield, which is a really disappointing result. So yeah, it's interesting to see which one this goes. It could go either way, you kind of feel, but I'm going to go down the middle and say a draw. I don't think there's a lot of separate teams at the moment. But moving on then to Turf Moor, where Burnley take on Rotherham, and yeah, Burnley flying at the moment. Obviously got that late win against Reading last time out against Rotherham side whose form has dipped in the last few games. Currently sitting in the 13th though, so still doing relatively well. But yeah, I think Burnley will come into this one probably expecting a win, and yeah, I definitely think they will be favourites in this particular game, especially being at home. So yeah, I'm going to say it will be 2-0 to Burnley. At the John Smith Stadium, Huddersfield take on Sunderland, and yeah, this is a really intriguing game because Sunderland, I mean, like, their form just being a bit inconsistent really. 3 losses, 1 win and 2 draws, winless since 15th of October, so they need a win against the Huddersfield side, who obviously have got 4 points from the last 2 now, so hopefully starting to pick up the following. But yeah, we'll have to give it a bit more time to see if that can be more concrete, I suppose. But yeah, in this one, I don't know, I just feel like I can't trust Huddersfield. Sunderland in desperate need of a win. They'll see this as an opportunity. I'm going to say 2-1 to them. Moving on then to Norwich as they take on QPR at Carrow Road, and yeah, what a crucial win for Norwich it was last time against Stoke after being struggling so much. Big win for them. QPR as well, they lost to Birmingham last time out, but hopefully it's just a one-off like we saw against Luton a few weeks ago. And yeah, I mean, like, it's a tough game to follow up with. Norwich, even with their struggling, is still a very good side. So yeah, I'm going to say a draw. I don't know, I just can't see either side winning this, to be honest. Moving on into Wigan as they take on Stoke at the DW, and Wigan, yeah, their form's gone right down the pan, hasn't it? Lost the last 4, kind of getting sucked into a relegation battle, which is a shame for them. But Stoke as well, right down there, they've lost the last 3. So yeah, it's a big opportunity for both of these sides, really, to get back and play themselves back in form, I suppose. So yeah, it'll be intriguing to see which way it goes. Kind of a game you feel like could go either way. I'm going to say it'll be a bit of a scrappy 0-0 between two sides who are in great form. Moving on into the final game of the game week, Cardiff taking on Watford. And yeah, this is another game that's kind of a bit hard to call, you'd say, really. Watford, 2 wins on the trot, kind of playing themselves back into form after a tough start for Stubborn Village. And yeah, taking on a Cardiff side, they're going all right at the moment, just kind of inconsistent. Big win last time out, I suppose. But yeah, I think Watford is starting to rock under Village now. I'm going to say they'll get the win here, 2-0. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, please comment down below, and follow the system show for daily football news, and subscribe for us. That's greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.